Chat-a-Tat. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Johnson, and you are watching Untethered Live on a Wednesday night. How things going in your neck of the woods? It's excellent here, nice and cool. It's a balmy 66 degrees outside. I've been watching my kitty cats eat. It's a beautiful sight. I got 5 cats, by the way, 1 mama and 4 babies, and they are feral. The mama is mostly feral, but she managed to figure out a way to become friends, so I'd feed her. The babies are completely feral. I can't get near any of them. They'll take off running. They're like little hellions in the forest, scurrying about everywhere. It's kind of cute. Anyway, if I can get close enough to take pictures, I will. If I can get them all together. And anyway, it's kind of nice to watch them out there frolicking. Hey, Caucasian, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show. How are things going for you? I am fantastic. I got a couple shows coming up this week. Been working all week. Going to see my son tomorrow. Got rehearsal tomorrow night. It's just a busy, busy week. 3 podcasts, a rehearsal, 2 shows, 5 days of work, and an hour visitation. And somewhere in all that, I get to sleep. What have you been up to? Anything special? Anything important? Have you rocked the world? Have you uncovered the mysteries of the cosmos? Have you unlocked the enigma of wisdom? Have you been just, generally funny? Or are you still rocking the high yield mediocrity and the aggressive averageness? My phone is almost dead. I have 2 shows scheduled and a third thing with Wolfman. Excellent. Well, don't you have a charger? Plug it in, plug it in. Mine near about stays on the charger because I use it so much it'd be dead if I didn't. Oddly enough, don't make that many phone calls. Isn't that strange? It's a strange new world. There's a little box in my pocket that does everything that my brain used to do. Only thing it won't do is make phone calls. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice having one, though. Think about it. It's plugged in, but it's not going to be near me. Got to talk to my wife. Understand? Or you're going to hang out for a little while till it dies, aren't you? Give me somebody to talk to. You got to talk to your cuz, too. I ate some honey a minute ago. That was quite nice. Some local honey. Got a guy around here that raises bees, and we buy honey from him. It's quite lovely. Comes in a nice little quaint jar. With a cork. It's very fashionable. But good honey. It's actually good tasting honey. What I'd like to find is a local source of syrup. I know there's one somewhere between here and Georgia, but I don't know where it's at. My granddad knew. Every time we went that way, he'd stop in and get a couple quarts homemade syrup. But I couldn't tell you where it is. We're talking the good stuff, though. Pure cane syrup. And some Canadian stuff. I don't know anything about syrup. We know what I mean. It's good stuff, though. What you got to talk to your wife about? Are you in trouble? Are you making plans for world domination? I've had a pretty good day today. Made a few t-shirts. Kind of an easy day. Wasn't a whole lot going on. Little here, little there, that kind of day. Pick up the edges of jobs that we've been doing, finishing off different things and shipping stuff out. Typical easy day. Got home and took a nap almost immediately. Woke up about 10 minutes ago. Ready to rock and roll. We're discussing ladies of ill repute. Oh. Be careful about that. Them things will get you in trouble. I've been around a couple of ladies of ill repute in my time. They always got me in trouble. Brisk. Some nice sweet tea. Why doesn't Santa Claus have kids? Well, he's about 250 pounds overweight and he stays gone most of the time. He probably has kids all over the country, all over the planet. I mean, it gets lonely out there on the road, you know what I'm saying? Miss Santa Claus can't be everywhere. So I would imagine somewhere along about Cambodia, he makes a couple stops and lets somebody climb down his chimney, if you know what I'm saying. Ho, ho, ho! He only comes once a year, and that's down your chimney. Yeah, that's a good one. Mine's better, though. Work that into your act. Old Santa Claus out there on the road getting lonesome. You can only go around the world so many times, He got to be awful quick, though, wouldn't he? One of those stop and go kind of things. Thanks for subscribing, Andrea. Andrea knows. She knows. I don't know how she knows, but she knows. And thank you. Welcome to the show. Wherever you may be. It's a lovely day for subscriptions. I've got to play 2 shows this weekend with 2 different bands. One's going to be, I shared your stream. Good. Thank you. I share yours too, occasionally. Definitely got to give props every chance I get. I had a mosquito bite right on my Achilles heel and it itches. They always pick the weirdest places to bite you. She seems to understand Indian Vedic lore. Who? Andrea? Or your wife? Are we still talking about ladies of ill repute? Or do you know Andrea knows? And if you do, thank you. Gotcha. Well, that might be interesting. Might have to get her on and have her talk about it. Might be something that we could glean from that information. You know me. I like to explore the strange and unusual. Ancient mysteries, so much the better. The older the better anyway. I like old stuff. Older women make beautiful lovers. I said older women, they understand. I've been attracting a different sort of subscribers with my recent Chilling with Sasquatch streams. Well, great. I'm glad you're getting on up there. I hadn't caught your change. If you've done something different, I hadn't caught it yet. I'll catch it when I get a chance, though. I finally managed to watch Wandering Hippie the other night for the first time. I got a few minutes, so I checked him out. I've seen considerably more of your shows than I have his, though. What's your new thing? What are you doing new? Is there a particular topic change or a format change or anything like that? Or are you just inviting different people on? Been doing like presentations of very good history and archaeology channels. Interesting. Yeah, I'd like that. All previous guests are welcome. That's excellent. I guess it's getting about that time. We need to get together and do one sooner or later. People seem to like it when you and I get together. It's fun, man. We play well off each other. Finally going to explain your boat people thing, huh? I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I have ideas much like you do. It's just harder to articulate it and line it up with what you're thinking because you don't particularly share what you're thinking. So I'll be excited to see where you go with it. Then I could zero in a little bit. Maybe we could talk about it. Because I think what you're referring to when you say boat people and what I'm referring to when I say boat people are not necessarily the same thing. I'm typically talking about the Venetians and the time period around King Cyrus. That's what I know to be where a large group of people migrated by boat to different places. But I'm thinking you might have a different thing in mind. I will say this, though. Wolfman and Sasquatch are going to get very critical on public domain films on Tuesday. Who's Wolfman? And that would be cool. I like things dealing with film. I've been thinking about doing a special day once a week for Star Trek. I found a public domain library. Excellent. So you're talking like past copyright material, old stuff, black and white, silent videos, and that sort of thing. Like the movie Metropolis. Ah, gotcha. The way you spoke about him, I figured you knew him. Well, that will be interesting. Yeah, he expressed interest in doing a show with me, and then he never got back to me. So, whatever. Some are public domain for other reasons, but yeah, I got you. What's the first film you're going to critique? Are you just going to go through them in general, or do you have one in mind? Do you have a plan of attack? Trying to get him to start a fresh channel first. No past comments haunting it. I got you. Yeah. He chooses than I do. Okay. Cool. Well, be sure to send me a text or something when you're getting ready to do it. I'll check it out. I'm interested in that sort of thing. That should be quite interesting. I'd like to see what you guys have to say about some old video, old footage. He doesn't understand re-upload strikes. I'm not sure I do either. I'm just hanging in there, man, trying to get by. Ain't nobody took my channel down yet. That's a good thing, I guess. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows but Jesus. Anyway, I've been thinking about doing a retrospective on the original series of Star Trek, because this new show, Strange New Worlds, is based on the original pilot that was never picked up to air. Basically, we can dual stream if we link channels, but I'm not linking my channel to anything I can't control. I don't blame you there, buddy. That's a pretty smart move. I didn't know you could link channels. Least of all, Drunken Wolfman. Gotcha. Well, you're a drunken Sasquatch at times. Can't be all that bad. Wolfman, Sasquatch. But especially in the early days of Star Trek in the 60s, there were some very, very well written episodes. A lot of detail, a lot of thought put into them. Make for a good conversation, I think. Especially if we like go through each episode and break them down, talk about filming techniques and talk about what was going on in the actors' lives at that time. Just all kinds of things. I think that'd be an interesting conversation. What do you think? Although Star Trek fans are particular, and probably not anybody that hangs out with me, so that would be like shooting for a different audience to some degree. Although some of my audience would watch just because it's something I'm doing, but you never know. Sure, I'll be careful, but it's first content creation ever. Yeah. Well, it's good that he's got you to walk him through it. You know, if this is first content, you could keep him from some of the pitfalls, give him good advice, maximize his viewing and all that, and what not to do. As long as y'all don't talk about politics or the CDC or anything like that, you ought to be okay. Don't say any of the non-prescribed, totally freedom of speech type stuff, you know. Wolfman might listen, but he will never admit it. Gotcha. Well, in that case, look out for number one. Make sure that you're protected regardless of what he does. It's okay to appear on somebody else's channel. That don't mean that you support what they do or that you're responsible for it in any way. Just make a disclaimer. Say, hey, yeah, I appeared, but I don't endorse any of this. So hands off. I don't know what the issue would be, but if it's enough to worry you, it's enough to make you think about it, then it's enough to protect yourself from it. And that's my 2 cents anyway. Hello, people. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Speak if you like. Listen if you don't. Nobody's having more fun than we're having right now, that's for sure. And I'm drinking some nice cold iced tea. Brisky. I chose Tuesday because he works Tuesdays. So in theory, he won't get too drunken. That's the thing about theories, though. They're only posthumously correct. Partially posthumously. Pathetic. Parenthetical. All right, enough with the P's. I'm excited about this weekend. Got lots of work coming up. Out of my comfort zone. One of the shows is. But it's going to be laid back. I'm going to do it all with an acoustic. It's going to be interesting. We shall see. Playing with some guys I hadn't played with in about 10 years. And I have no idea how that's going to turn out. But we'll find out on Thursday when I go to rehearsal. Which is in a part of town I don't typically go. So me on my motorcycle with a guitar strapped to the back, that's going to be fun. You know how it is for a working musician. It's always something. Oh, did I tell you I'm getting a hammock? My sister is going to bring me a big old, very nice, very thick hammock. Like the one I had when I lived in Georgia. Like a nautical kind of thing. A show enough ships hammock. And I'm going to lay out in the sun and melt away. Hey, I'm here, but I don't know about interrupting the conversation. But hey, y'all, you're not interrupting the conversation. What you mean? You being here means you're part of the conversation, so talk away. And welcome to the show. How are you today? Fantastic having you here. Thanks for coming. I'm going to produce the show while he controls StreamYards and hosts. Okay. Are you comfortable with that? This being his first show, does he know how to do all that? You might have to do a lot more talking than you realize. Hosting is a thing. But if he knows how to do it all, it should be fine. Well, thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. Oh, I can talk. I know you can. Can he? That's what I'm asking. Because, being a host, you can't have dead air and all that good stuff. Got to keep the conversation going, keep it interesting, keep it going on topic and that sort of thing. You know how to do it. You've been doing it a while. And I'm guessing if you're comfortable enough letting him do it all in his first show, then he knows how to do it too. Because that would make for a very uncomfortable sit if you had to sit and wait for him to figure it out. Hey, I learned some StreamYard tricks. We got to show you these things. Yeah, show me a way. I don't use StreamYards that often, but I probably need to. One of these days, I'll get a subscription. I just don't want to have any extra expenses right now because everything I got's going out. So, but if it's not too expensive, I can get into it. It might be worth having. Especially if I start doing more and more guest spots, which I have not done in the past, just every now and then. About once a month, I'll pull somebody in. Yeah, 20 hours free a month. Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, if I'm going to use it and do all the little tricks and stuff, I might as well have a subscription. Have you looked into Melon and all those other ones? Are they any good? Restream and Melon, I think, are the two big ones. I'm not real sure. I know Restream will allow you to stream to 3 or 4 different places at one time, but it just doesn't seem very economical to me, which is why I haven't done it. Seems like you're paying for something that barely works because it takes away from your streaming. As you are sending out your stream, it's dividing it and sending it to several places, which lowers the quality on every stream. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, unless you got a supercomputer. You know, I don't interrupt when y'all are talking gigs and plans of shows. Oh, we're just chit-chatting. Ain't nothing. It's not an interruption situation. It's just say something so I have something to respond to kind of thing. Restream has echo problems and mass prawn bomb potential. Gotcha. Yeah, it seemed like I looked into it when I first heard about it, and it seemed like it just wasn't a very uh copacetic situation for what I wanted to do with it. No, honey, these are hobby shows. Just a Chat-a-Tatting away. That's all we're doing. Speak up by all means. Say something. I can't think of everything. Give us some gardening tips or change the subject or whatever. That's what we're here for. Everybody's invited. It's for your entertainment too. How the cat's doing? They're alive. They're out there rambling around like zombies. Every time I open the door, somebody's begging for food. So I guess that's what cats are supposed to do. But the mama is partially feral. She made friends with me so I'd feed her, but she's feral otherwise. The babies are completely feral. You can't get close to them. They'll take off running, hiss at you and stuff. Quite vicious little fur balls. They're adorable, but you know. So I've watched several hours of other creators' content with guests. So far, only Nova has complained. Who's Nova and why were they complaining? And what were they complaining about? I've watched several hours of other creators' content with guests, and only Nova has complained. PBS copyright blocked for the US. Oh, I know what that Nova is, PBS and Nova. But what are they complaining about? I don't understand the context. Context is king. You can't just say some shit. I don't know what you're talking about. Were you watching creators' content on Nova? My garden consists of green onions, potatoes, and lots of tomato plants. Ooh. Oh, you watched a video of Nova's and they complained because you watched it. Or were you commenting on it? Or Why were they complaining? Thought the whole point of them putting out videos was for people to watch them. And I totally missed. If it was a joke, I missed it. I'm sorry. My mind was in another place, apparently. I'm growing an Italian tomato tree in aquaponics. That's the same as a regular tomato. They just speak Italian. Cool. If Caucasian, are you familiar with TBR Schmidt? Do you know who that is? TBR Schmidt is a film critic channel. Not really film critic, more like a film reaction channel. And they react to movies and TV shows and stuff. Nova copyright blocked my 3-hour stream for watching a 10-minute video. Oh, while it was on your stream, I got you. I understand now, because you were talking about the new way of doing things and you were previewing documentaries and such. I got it. I understand now. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. That was a callback to the beginning of the conversation, and I didn't catch it. I got it now. Well, you know, when people put out material for free, they don't want nobody to get it except for the people that pay for it, if you know what I'm saying. That free content's a bitch. Paid for by viewers like you. Personally, I think it's all a racket. Well, when you get those tomatoes grown, I'd like to have some. I like tomatoes. Especially the homegrown kind. For some reason, they just taste better than store-bought tomatoes. North Carolina ain't doing much in the way of tomatoes in the first place, but if you can manage to grow them, I've been thinking about getting some chickens because I like eggs. My sister was giving me some eggs every now and then, but she stopped doing that. I think her chickens stopped laying or something. Or maybe she got rid of them. I don't know. Either way, some eggs are good to have every now and then. Keep you fat and sassy. Cleaning my glasses, in case you're wondering. Better. Where's my April at tonight? That's odd that she's not here. She must be busy. Usually her and Kevin both are here. I'm clipping it in YouTube Studio. We will see how it works. Pretty sweet recently. You got it. Last year I grew Tiny Tim tomatoes, millions of them. This year I will run one giant vine up my chimney, the other around my grow bed, and the last two around the bottom of the tanks. Interesting. Well, I tell you what, here's what I do when I play videos. I flip the video backwards, and then I tilt it at 46 degrees. very specifically 46 degrees. And if you want to, you can go in and change the color just a little bit, make it a little lighter than normal. And so far, nobody has hit me for a copyright strike on videos. Now, I get it all the time for music, but so far, nobody's copyrighted me on videos. And it's because I think that the algorithm don't pick it up when it's twisted like that. And also make sure you mute any music if it's got music on it, because they're geared for that sort of thing. They'll pick up on that fast. Even if it's music that's in the background. Sure, but I use a secret weapon. I'm sure it was Nova Music that got me. I hear you. It probably was. Because, like I said, they're geared for that, and they'll pick up on it quick. If you let any theme music play of any kind, intro music or anything. But I don't even clip my videos. I just play them in their entirety, like when I'm doing a debunking, which I need to do another one of those. I haven't done one in a while. But I just play whatever's there. And the only thing I mute is if it's got music on it. I'll cut that out. But I flip it around and do all the tilting and all that. And it actually looks kind of cool because it looks like it's in the background hanging off of my wall, you know. It's different, but it works. That's a trick that another YouTuber taught me. So far, I haven't had any trouble with it, but that don't mean it won't happen. It just hasn't yet. I won't discuss it on YouTube, but that's fine. If you got a trick, keep it up your sleeve. That way it'll remain a trick. However, if you got a copyright strike, the trick ain't working. You're probably right, though. It's probably the music on the video. I'm wondering if I can get away showing old Star Trek clips when I do that retrospective. There's plenty of room for content. There's 99 episodes and 6 movies. That should keep me busy for a while if I decide to do it. I've also been toying with the idea of filming setups and teardowns and stuff at my shows. Just kind of behind the scenes stuff, backstage stuff. That seemed to go over all right. It was a little bit anticlimactic, though. There was nothing, no real content there. Just, hey, look, we're setting stuff up. But people like to see things like that, so who knows? It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a physician. Wait a minute. I'll admit it, I'm a big-time Star Trek fan. However, they have royally been screwing it up here lately. I don't know what they're thinking, but it ain't, hey, let's make good Star Trek. I watched that new Strange New Worlds that just came out, which I'm going to watch the second episode tonight at about 3 a.m. And it was good, but they got every detail wrong. And I know that they didn't do it on accident. I know they meant to. I just don't understand why. Like the first scene was a scene of Captain Pike in his cabin and his communicator goes off and it makes the wrong sound. It makes the sound that it makes when you flip it open, you know, rather than the boop, 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 boop that it usually makes when somebody's calling him. So it made the wrong sound. Then his girlfriend called it a phone. She says, your phone's ringing. It's not a phone. They've never called it a phone. Then they got Spock, and his girlfriend asks him to marry him, and he reacts with an emotional reaction. I thought you'd never ask. Like, that's wrong all the way around. According to the series, they were betrothed as children. It's an arranged marriage, which means you don't have to ask. You're already going to get married. So that's wrong. And then they went back to their place and started making out. Spock, a Vulcan, who mates every 7 years and goes crazy if he doesn't because of Pun Far. I'm sure you've seen the movie. Anyway, the whole show was like that. Every detail was wrong. It's like they're retconning the whole thing. But it was good. It was well made. It was pretty. The effects were awesome. Everything looked good. Just all the details were wrong. And what do you do with that? It's like slapping fans in the face. People have been watching Star Trek over and over and over again for 50 years. We know every detail of that show. You can't make a new show and just willy-nilly your way through it. You got to get the details right, or it's not Star Trek. Go figure. I think somebody needs to say something, and I'm sure lots of people are. But, effects are empty if the soul is dead. Correct. If you get all the details wrong, it don't matter how pretty the show is. It's wrong, and it's abrasive to anybody that's a fan, because we know what the correct details are, and you're telling us now that it's different. Now, this show is supposed to take place before Captain Kirk. So, in effect, it's a prequel to Star Trek. And all the details are way too advanced for that time period. This is a period piece of a history that never happened. Star Trek is not based on our history. It's based on Star Trek's history. Things happened in Star Trek that didn't happen in real life. So, it's a period piece, effectively. It's a futuristic period piece. Most period pieces are in the past, but this one, future. But when you have technology that wasn't there in the original, because that's not the way it was designed, whether they could do it or not is irrelevant. And things work differently, For example, that Star Trek talks about using warp drive. That's how they get around. If all of a sudden they started using faster than light travel, but never calling it warp drive, somebody would say that's wrong. That's not Star Trek, Or say they use hyperdrive. That's a Star Wars thing, not a Star Trek thing. Yeah, most people did hate the theme song, but it was a well-made show, and it wasn't appreciated at the time. You go back and look at it now, and it's like leaps and bounds ahead of anything they're making now. But at the time, we were kind of burnt out on Star Trek because we've been watching it for 20 years, 3 different iterations of it, or 4. But they actually, if you go back and watch that show, it's actually very well made, and it stays true to canon as closely as you can, and still make something new, And I don't mind them altering things for the sake of making something new, retconning ideas or adding things in that weren't there before. What I do mind is them outright changing the topic of the subject, outright making it a completely different show. For example, in Star Trek, they did not have villains. They had antagonists, which aren't always necessarily evil. They're just different. They're complicated. They might be altruistic. They might be completely and wholly dedicated to whatever it is they're doing and think they're in the right. It just doesn't square with the Enterprise, or Federation's way of doing things. So an antagonist and a villain are not the same thing. I don't think the new writers understand that. Farscape, Firefly, and Stargate. And Laura's rewatching Stargate now. I never could get into Stargate. I liked the movie, but I never did care for the TV series much. I did like Firefly a whole lot, and I was kind of fond of Farscape. It got a little out there for me, but it was kind of good for its time. Farscape is like a cross between Star Trek and Star Wars. It's got the best elements of both and smashes them together with a little bit of Twilight Zone sprinkled on top for good measure. A little X-Files. I did kind of like that show, but Firefly could have been the next Star Trek if it was handled correctly, and they didn't. They handled it very poorly. And somebody had to have gotten fired over that, because there are still people to this day dressing up as brown coats, and that's over 20 years ago. If they'd have handled that right, if they'd have promoted it and pushed it like they should have, that would have been the next Star Trek. That had the opportunity to have legs and last for generations. But they canceled it the first season, oddly enough, and it was all political. It had nothing to do with the quality of the show or its ratings. The bottom line was this, and nobody's ever said this out loud except for me, but I believe it wholeheartedly. The reason they canceled that show is because the good guys in that show were basically Southerners. They were basically the Confederate Army. And they were portrayed as the good guys. And I bet you $100 that's why they canceled that show. I mean, think about it. The good guys, the people we sided with in that show, were rebels. They were the people going against the establishment. They were basically rednecks. And nobody's going to let the South win in Hollywood. Space Feather? No, I've never seen Space Feather. What is that about? Space Feather. Nope, I don't think I've ever even heard of it. What is that, like a scientific mission of chickens? Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. That was my William Shatner chicken. Space. YouTube channel, Firefly Deep Dive channel, sort of. Okay. I'll check it out. I like deep dives. Space Feather. I'll check that out tonight. I have seen some people talking about Firefly, and I watch a lot of Star Trek retrospectives and things, but occasionally I run across pretty good ones for Firefly, like Popcast. You ever watch them? But also Max Headroom and a few others. Old Max Headroom. There's another show that was out of time. It was way too advanced for the time it came out, and people didn't get it. If it came out in the 90s, it would have been great. But it came out in the 80s. You used to watch Popcast? Okay. Yeah, they get a little on your nerves because they're so squeaky clean and voiceover-y, if you know what I mean. They're too professional. It's too polished. Comes off as a little corny. But sometimes they have some good material. I also like Duke and Nerdrotic and The Critical Drinker. Those are my favorites. If you ever get a chance to listen to Critical Drinker, do so. You'll love it. He's probably one of the more articulate, well-spoken, character-driven reviewers out there. He's got a whole gimmick. He's a drunken Scotsman. Got a whole backstory and everything. But it's actually, he does real good work and goes deeper than most people do. And it ain't just all about hating on stuff. Some of the guys out there that I've watched, I get a little sick of watching them because they just hate for the sake of hating. Like Doomcock. That's his whole thing. He just hates everything. While he is character driven and he is funny and his material is good, when you watch something and know that it's decent and he hates it just because that's his job is to write hateful reviews, that's what gets his channel going, you know. It comes off as disingenuous, and I don't appreciate that. I prefer people, if it's good, say it's good. There's no harm in that. You know what I mean. Brown coats forever. I'm with Mal. I like the captain. He's my kind of guy. Shoot first, ask questions later. I swear by my blue bonnet, I'll have your head. Ain't nothing been twixt my nether regions weren't run on batteries. Shiny. So what do you think? Are you into a Star Trek retrospective, or should I just let that one go? I can get deep, though. I know all the details. What say you, Chat? Inform me. And how do you like Stargate, Laura? Are you into that? I tried to get into it. It just wasn't my kind of thing. I didn't like Babylon 5 all that much either. And it starred a lot of people that were involved in Star Trek. Same thing with Battlestar Galactica. Although I probably would get into that if I watched it now. But when I was younger, I couldn't get into it when it was on TV. But now we've got this thing called binge watching, and I can watch a lot of it. Yeah, I know it was epic. I just couldn't get into it. It was too weird. Maybe I didn't appreciate at the time what they were doing, but it felt to me like they were making Star Trek without using the name Star Trek. And it felt a little weird. And that's exactly what they were doing, but they were doing it in a different way. And I didn't understand all that back then. The difference between Gene Roddenberry, who invented Star Trek, and so other people is Gene Roddenberry was a humanist. And that with that ideology comes certain beliefs, and they were heavily imbued in Star Trek. However, that makes for poor environment for writing. It's very hard to write drama without drama, you know, without conflict. So Babylon 5 was an experiment where they took the good stuff about Star Trek and added conflict and drama to it and came out with something different, a different angle. Had I known that then, I might have gotten into it. It just wasn't my thing. It was a comic tradition. Pretty sure it started with a comic, Project Babylon. I don't know where the idea came from, but I know that the people who made the show, Ron D. Moore, they were Star Trek alum. They used to write for Star Trek. I love the SG universe. That's Stargate SG. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't get into the original Stargate, so I never even bothered with Stargate SG or whatever the letters are. The only thing is, they use the term, in all due respect, way too much. Hey, there's Kevin Cox and George Ward. What's happening, guys? Welcome to the show. Come on in, take your shoes off, set a spell. How are things going in your neck of the woods, fellas? April is asleep. She's very tired. I figured something was going on. She ain't likely to miss a show. She all right? Everything good? SGU, that's it. Was an autistic gamer guy, hero genius. Okay. Pretty good day. Excellent. I'm glad to hear it, sir. Anything special in the wheelhouse? You doing anything? Are you unlocking the keys to the universe? Are you grabbing the finer mysteries of wisdom? Are you just being generally funny? April is fine. Good. Glad to hear it. Tell her we missed her when she wakes up. George Ward. Hello, 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 hello. We're just talking about Stargate and Babylon 5 and Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek, Firefly. I took a look at May's development last stream. Yeah, tell me about it. What is May's development? It sounds interesting. I don't know what it is, though. Or I might know and just don't know I know. Corn. Oh, that kind of maize. Oh, okay. The one thing I know about corn is it's not indigenous. It's a hybrid, a creation. Started out as little grass. It is an unlikely crop. If it weren't for mankind, corn would not exist. It's totally a product of, it's a grass. It's about that big. And it kind of looks like a corn cob, but it's real tiny. And they managed to crossbreed that with several other things and eventually make corn. I don't know how they did it or what gave them the idea to do it, but if it weren't for man, corn wouldn't be a real thing. Cornfield, which is interesting to me. It's interesting that that's not one of God's creations, yet we consume a lot of it. Sasquatch, you're weird sometimes. Why? Because he likes the idea of where corn came from? That is pretty weird. But good weird. I'm perplexed by the initial corn mutation. I suspect it was actually found wild. I don't know. I know it's a pretty large leap to come up with that, but they did somehow. They figured it out. And I'd like to know what it's crossbred with to give it its size, because like you said, it's just little grass. And how they figured out how to crossbreed that, I don't know. I know that it was around in biblical times, though, because they speak about corn in the Bible. So it's been here for a while, but it wasn't here on Creation Day. Or however you view that. That's fascinating. And how did they go from what they call maize, which is the brown and yellow corn, to what we call sweet corn? That's a big leap, too. It's not exactly the same kind of plant. It looks the same, but it tastes and feels different, has a different texture. and a different size. So what the Pilgrims ate would have been maize, not corn, as we know it, like sweet corn or whole kernel corn. And what we have is a completely different strain of that. It's much more yellow and much more sweet. It's like it's crossed with a sugar cane or something. And the stalks do kind of look sugar cane like. I wonder if that's one of the things they crossbred it with. I'm totally talking out of my ass. I have no idea how to make corn, but it's interesting to think about. Cob mutation. Gotcha. Well, corn is a local grain of convenience. Maize is what is locally available. Yes. Corn may be the only vegetable or fruit to have a college football team use it as a mascot. Go Nebraska for Cornhuskers. I'm not sure it falls under either category, vegetable or fruit. It's vegetable-like, but I don't know what the parameters are for what makes a vegetable a vegetable. Fruit usually grows on a tree, has the seeds inside, and is sweet. I guess vegetables grow on a vine, have the seeds on the inside, and is not sweet. Yes, popcorn, white corn, brown corn, all maize. Yes. All in the maize family, not necessarily just maize. Maize is that brown and black and yellow corn that the Pilgrims had that you see in all the Thanksgiving pictures. That's what we would call maize. That's its original form outside of the crossbreeding. In England, they call barley corn. Now, that's interesting. If that's true, then what's mentioned in the Bible might not actually be corn as in corn on the cob. It might be something in the barley family. That is an interesting thought. Ever heard of any team called the Bananas or the Oranges? Nope. Well, I have, but it wasn't a sports team. In Europe, it's red wheat corn. Yeah, in England, they call French fries chips. You know there's something wrong with them. Vitamin T, I'm watching you now. Hello there. Would you please do an interview with Kyle Lafayette Foster Jenkins, who is a project manager for NBA 2K games? That will be so great. You would be a great interviewer soon. Sure, why not? I have no idea who that is or who you are, but I appreciate the confidence. And I'm a pretty good interviewer, so. Tell them to email me. We'll see what happens. You can email me at jakejohnsonband@gmail.com, but I suspect you're a troll, so temper your emails. But if you're not, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. I am a little leery of random statements, though, so we'll see what happens. Vitamin T, I'm watching you now. What is vitamin T? I'm drinking some vitamin T right now. And it's delicious. How's everybody? You guys having a good time? Are you enjoying the conversation? Would you like to talk about something else? We can do that. Kevin, it's all your fault. A channel that posted derogatory videos about Britney Spears. Interesting. I just watched the news. War is still going on. Liberals are stalking the Supreme Court judges. New COVIDs are coming. Shanghai is closed down along with other cities in China, and gas is up 80. Wow. %. God bless Biden. He is doing a great job. Well, you know, we hired him to do a good job, and he's not disappointed us yet. Good job, Biden. We're at an all-time high of inflation. It's 8.5% right now, which means if you have rental property, then you're not going to make a penny off your rental property. So good job. Major thank yous for reading our comments on Tethered Live. Well, you're certainly welcome. And like I said, if you're not a troll, just send me an email and we'll see what we can do for you. I'm not doing anything more until bodies stack in the streets, period. I'm the same way. I'm not playing their games. I've had enough. I don't like being told what to do anyway. My mama didn't tell me what to do. What's Joe Biden think he's got a right to do so? I ain't wearing your obedience mask for nobody. I do not comply. Hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go. Gotta go, gotta go. Oh, Attica, Attica, Attica. Attica was a sci-fi movie. Attica was the... I wrote a song about it. About that obedience mask. Mask of shame. I know Gattaca's totally different. I just had a brain for it. My wires were crossing. I know so much that my brain has began to delete non-essential details to make room for other stuff. Doesn't always work in my favor. Like not, yeah. No, I've began to drool. That's the thing that's happening. That's why I'm always wiping my mouth. Make sure I'm not drooling on myself. Anyway, it's lovely out there. Hard out there for a pimp, though. I don't know what the hell our government is thinking. It deleted not drooling protocol. Sports update by Kevin Cox. The Rays and Angels knotted at 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Go Rays, lightning down 2-3 against Tornado Cheaters. Next game is Go Rays, go Bolts. Manana. 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 What? Manana. 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 Manamana. 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 I think I got it. Manana, Spanish meaning tomorrow. That's mañana. It's spelled mignoni. Mignona. Mañana. No, I think there's two G's. Mignogna. Mignagne. That's it. Mañana. Gracias. Mi mejor papito es mucho grande. Mañana. Tomorrow. Mañana. It's Mignogna. Mañana. Somebody was when they came up with that language. Their J's are silent. I mean, come on. I got an idea. Let's make the J's silent. Why? Just to screw with Americans. Okay. There you go. Now, the more important question is, why do I know that? Go ahead and ask. Other news, not on Fox tonight. Jake still has no internet. April is sleeping late at night. Squatch has become good friends with a hippie. Last, my feet still need rubbing. Well, wake your girlfriend up, send me some money, hang out with a hippie, and she'll rub your feet. That's the best I can do. I know I was making the way to it sounds. You were making the way it sounds. Yeah. You were doing a transliteration. Gotcha. That's right. Min ya na. That's correct. I thought you were flirting with me at first. Min ya na. Hey, Kevin, do you know why Santa Claus don't have any children? I know that. Well, I flirted with you. Because he only comes once a year, and that's down your chimney. Ha! I stole that joke. Hilarious. I'd kill me. Ah. Well, do not make fun of Santa. You will be on the naughty list. I don't believe in Santa. I am Santa. Or I was. The job has been taken, but for a while I was Santa. But I have a particular set of skills, and I will find you, and I will kill you. All right, where'd everybody go? We have gotten pretty close to the top of the hour, so let me get my commercial out of the way without my graphics. Hey, won't you hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you'll get notifications of when I'm going to be online and when new videos drop. Smash that like button. Hit it hard. Smash it vigorously, but only hit it once. It's free. It's right in front of you. It takes no effort at all. And it really does help the channel with the algorithm, so please hit that like button. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform me, drink my Kool-Aid. Drink your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critically. That's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And if you dig what I'm doing and you like what I'm trying to build here and you'd like to be part of something special, or if you'd like to just pat me on the back and say, hey, nice job, Jake, won't you consider becoming a supporter of this channel by going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. PayPal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too, because God notices these things. We do live in a reciprocal universe, and I greatly appreciate the support and will do everything in my power to be worthy of it. And with that, I will round out the video with your questions and comments and criticisms, catharsis, and critiques. I said that already, but I said it differently. I can't sing, but I can play. Some might say. Take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. I don't need it now, your love is all I was after. No, I don't need it now, 'cause I can get off on you. Tell me who'd ever thought I would be going crazy. I know. Tell me who'd ever thought I would be stuck on you like sniffing glue. Take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. I don't need it now, your love is all I was after. No, I don't need it now, I can get off on you. I can get by on little nothing at all. I know I can get by with nothing loving but you. Make me dream. Take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills, take back the whiskey too. No, I don't need it now. Your love is all I was after. No, I don't need it now, 'cause I can get off on you. No, I don't need it now, 'cause I can get off on you. There you go. There's a little Willie wailing for you. I hope you guys have had a good time tonight. I've had a blast. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy hanging out with my buddies, my friends, my confidants, my je ne crois. or some French word that I don't know. Anyway, I love you true with all my heart. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and supporting me and keeping me going and keeping me honest. I dig it. Look, my forehead is bulging. That's how serious I am. Take care of yourselves and each other. Hey, when you go out into the world tomorrow, take a little kindness with you. Be kind to somebody. Open a door. Help an old lady across the street. Pay for somebody's coffee. Whatever. Show people that inner light inside of you and watch it change your life. Watch it make you better from the inside out, and everybody around you will follow suit. And you did it. Promise it'll work. I love you guys. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Next, you will tell me there is no elf named Buddy. If he hangs out with Hannah, maybe. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'll see you on Friday night. My shows don't start till Saturday, and I'll play Saturday and Sunday and Thursday, but I'll be here Friday. I will not be here Sunday, so that's the second warning. I'll tell you again on Friday. I'll make it up some other time, but I got a show on Sunday, so I will miss Bible study on Sunday, but I'll be here Monday. We might do Monday and Tuesday. Anyway, thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. You mean the world to me. See you next time. Thanks for watching.